I am Christian Tiambo from University of Buea, that is in Cameroon, where I'm lecturer, but also I'm a postdoctoral scientist. But here today I'm supposed to present on OHCEA report, mostly to understand and to share with you the performances that OHCEA has been achieving in Africa. It was mentioned already this morning, the contributions and the distributions of representativity of OHCEA in Africa. Of course, we mentioned Eastern and Central Africa, but we know that now it is extending to Western Africa. So, as it was mentioned yesterday, probably the name should be renamed to really embrace the whole Africa. I think Aaron also mentioned this just a few minutes ago about the progress and how the founding fathers have been thinking and implementing, pushing for OHCEA to be where we are today. And really a lot have been achieved on the field, and I believe that through my presentation we'll be able to see how the people that OHCEA have been building the capacities are able to champion and really to take off and to fly high in the domain of controlling all the emergencies that we'll be having in Africa. So to achieve that, OHCEA have been focusing on three key main areas, where we have the multi-sectorial engagement, mostly to develop the workforce engagement at the level of countries with academias and the other partners. Also on the education and training, of course, at pre-service and in-service, and also institutional strengthening to make sure that at the faculty level we have enough capacities, staff with enough capacity to tackle all the emergencies coming on, also the facilities. We just heard about laboratory developments and all the skills that are put in place to be sure that in case of any crisis emerging, the team on place should be able to effectively control it. So this has been able, thanks to the organizations that was put in place by the founding fathers and being implemented by the secretariats, from the Dean Summit, the OHCEA Secretariat, and at the country level with the different deans, focal person, activity leads, and the other partners, mostly the government at the country level, who are helping to implement the activities and to push and adopting also what OHCEA is doing at the different levels in different countries. And this organigram also was already presented by Aaron. And of course, we need to acknowledge the technical and financial capability that is existing at the level of the OHCEA Secretariat, and see exactly how these skills existing at the different levels have been contributing from what they learned earlier, what they learned while being within OHCEA, and how they are impacting and transforming the staff and the habits that we have at the different country levels. Of course, this is also possible thanks to the financial resources allocated to OHCEA to implement this, but also the financial team, the finance team, with great performances, able to implement and to allow the countries to really achieve what they have been achieving on real time. And it is thanks to that system being in place, the wonderful people with their skills, that we have been able to have a total of more than 11,000, almost 12,000 now, people attending OHCEA activities and contributing, with more than 10,000 individual trainees, with different type of participants, of which 75% are students, 15% are faculties, and 13% in service. Of course, in the One Health area, we have human health, 45%, 35% of animal health, environment, and 10% also, which are others we mentioned earlier, the skills, the capacity, the technical skills, and the facilities being put in place at the different levels to make sure that the operationalizations of OHCEA is real on the ground. And of course, we cannot forget the gender issue. All these organizations can easily be trickled down to the country level, where we can see, for example, the progress and the connection with all the capacities from the basic level to the higher level where we have now. We can have just the case of Cameroon, where almost One Health was new. Those at the level of the government, the administrations, it was being developed, implemented at the microscopic level, but now we can see exactly at the country level how the activities are transforming lives on the field. And to go to Cameroon, we can mention, for example, one of the recent activities, which is antimicrobial resistance stewardship, and all the activities implemented into that level, which is also contributing to really transform the capacities and change the life of local communities. We have also the biosafety and biosecurity programs being developed and the pedagogic platform to tackle the issue of South-South collaboration that was also mentioned. So it is very important. These are just few of the activities, and we can see around some of the activities also going with or supporting the main activities, that the flagship activities that we mentioned in Cameroon. And these are few examples of the documents that have been developed from Cameroon and which are ready to be exported to the partners and to the other countries of the networks. And you can have, for example, the document on the antimicrobial resistance for the trainers and for the trainees. We have the document, the adoption of the code of conduct to complete what was already existed at the level of the governments, and the curriculum design and development for wildlife health medicine, for field epidemiology, etc., and most of the activities to make sure that this is really adopted by local people, by the local staff, and by the government. And we can have it online on OHCEA website through the different magazines and our newspaper, OHCEA newspaper. So it is very important to have all this and share, read, and make it read by the neighbors. The same is appearing, is also happening at the level of Democratic Republic of Congo, where I believe no one can champion them now on the domain of vet ambulatory clinic program, for example, or the training of administrators, the One Health Federation online app. This is also to make sure that all the capacities which is being built at the level of the university, whether it is Kinshasa or Lumumbashi, is able to be extended easily to all the countries or to all other universities within the country. And this is to make sure that at the ground level we have impact. And these are some of the journals that you may have on the DRC story. At the level of Rwanda, the response to disease on the field is really one great impact that they have on as what they acquire from the OHCEA capacity building, the community outreach material, and rabies vaccinations or eradication campaigns, where students, the pre-service people that we have been mentioning, are really demonstrating that they are able to tackle a crisis happening at any time. And this is also supported by a lot of surrounding activities. And you can see here one of the certificates just delivered to OHCEA Rwanda for their performance. So this is just to testify that real things are happening on the field, and that we can say thank you to the donors and to OHCEA for the change that is happening to the community, local communities. In Senegal, it is something similar with developments of capacities for sensitizations and skills to control diseases like anthrax, tuberculosis, Rift Valley fever, etc., and training people on the ground like these workers at the national park to be sure that now they are able to contribute to the ongoing activities, not only in the countries, but in the surrounding countries also. And you can have it as testimony of things happening in the Senegal. In Kenya, also they have been working a lot, and I believe they were the one to start pushing with the curriculum development for wildlife and veterinary medicine, which has also been adopted by Cameroon, and it is being implemented in DRC. So this is to see how something happening in Senegal, in Rwanda, can be transforming also other peoples in the other regions. and testimony is there. In Uganda, also they are really the champions in terms of disease controls, outbreaks, management, and investigations and response. And here, for example, we can also see the impact of the One Health Student Club contributing to the different activities in this response. I think this can be easily seen here, and it is also seen at the different countries how the governments are really adopting and host the activities that that OHCEA is implementing, and to make sure that it is also being extended to other partners, organizations on the field, to other ministries, and to all the stakeholders involved into One Health on that area. The same thing is happening in Tanzania with different flagship activities, World Health Education Guide which have been developed, and the short course also available. And this is still to make sure that apart from those who are able to attend the different activities indoors, it is also still possible for many professionals, those who are really acting on the field, to contribute to One Health activities and adoptions by all the communities. And this is happening both at the level of the multi-sectoral engagement, education and training, and institutional strengthening. And we can still have testimony from these countries. In Ethiopia, similar activities with management, competence developed in management of outbreaks, disease surveillance, and mapping. And this is very important if we are thinking that we should be able to anticipate of the outbreak coming. We should be able, of course, to carry out proper surveillance, but also map. And from the mapping, we should be able to develop different programs to be sure that we have a very good alert system, and to allow our teams, the different teams, multidisciplinary teams, to interact or to respond on the field on real time. At the level of Ethiopia, they have also been preparing and endorsing and disseminating policy brief to reach people who may not be in universities or the other sectoral ministries, etc., but even those who are on the street, which should just be able to access whatever materials is ready everywhere. So that's why Ethiopia is also here contributing to disseminate all the performances, all the achievements. And this has not been easy for sure. A lot of constraints have been coming in, but this is also being managed by the Secretariat and the different partners in One Health implementations in OHCEA, and we are sure that progressively we should be able to overcome, OHCEA should be able to overcome all these constraints and challenges. And this is why we maintain a very positive smile, a contagious smile, because we believe that the future is bright for OHCEA, and that's what can be bringing me to what Irene just presented recently, to see that we have developed capacities, we have moved almost from zero to where we are now, but we are ready to go forward and really to defeat and to come out with real response in case of any crisis happening in Africa, and using based on the different pillars which are mentioned here. So thank you very much for listening.